how do you know when it's time to pivot? Like, it's obviously a tough decision to make. I know you've just gone through that whole process. What are some of the mental models or signals that someone can use to know that it's the right time?
Everybody thinks it's finding the reasons why the thing you're doing is not working. Everybody thinks that. And I think that is completely reasonable if you want to say, when is it time to hop? Things not working. It's just not working definitively. No matter who you are, you look at that and everyone says it's not working. That's time to hop. Do something completely different. A pivot is related to something that's working, not something that's not working. And that's the misconception. So when you pivot, it's based on customer learnings, which means something is working, period. I don't know what it is, but something's working because like I'm not in your business, right? But like something is working and it's causing you to think about changing directions. But something is working. There is feedback that's coming in. There is like, a customer sharing a different problem. There's something working, right? And that piece that's working is what you double down on and that's when you pivot. When you realize that something is working, but it's not working as good as you want it to, and then you go into the thing that's working and figure out what to do about that, just like you folks, right? Like I saw your journey. I've been around, right? So like you started as one thing, then as you were getting feedback on the tool and what was going on, you got into another thing, right? And but it was a pivot, it wasn't a hop, because you're just like, oh, this direction, that direction. It's like messaging in one way to messaging on another in another way. It might be completely different because it's social media versus like emailing and SMS and all that stuff, but it was a pivot. And here's the fantastic thing about these pivots: there are businesses that are still doing the original thing you're doing that are massive and successful. So that's what I'm saying. The pivot wasn't because the thing wasn't working. It was because you learned something and something was working and you decided to pursue that. Not instead, but in with that focus. So that's kind of my way of describing this. You don't know when it's time to pivot unless you're paying attention to what's working. You only know that it's time to hop when you're paying attention to what's not working.